deadlock is broken. And the ball's on the back of the net.
Is this the day that turns their season around?
He's done it again!
Oh, yeah, Westlake High School.
Yes, that's right.
The one, the only Cobi Jones. Welcome to the show, bud.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Now, you're out in Phoenix right now preparing the team?
Yeah, we're here. A little getaway, break up the monotony of preseason. Got a little preseason trip here for 10 days out here.
You liking it? How's the team look?
Team's looking good. I think we're building off of last year. I think we're only getting better.
Now, do you have a Bruce Arena impersonation? No, you're not going to do that, are you?
I do, but do you think I'd really do it?
No, that's probably a good idea. Now, hey, as you know, we are covering Black History Month. I actually spent a little bit of time online today, you know, just researching some of this stuff. But my question to you, what does this mean to you this month?
What does it mean to me as being an African American? I think it means quite a bit. You know, the issue is, though, you know, is 1 month really enough? I think it should be celebrated all the time, if you ask me.
Well, that's a fair point. No, actually, it's Canada. Canada and the United States celebrate Black History Month.
England in October, I believe it is.
A little bit later on. But you know, if I were to ask you, who were some of the African Americans that had a huge impact on your life? As far as, I mean, obviously you had a storied career in the sport of soccer, but were there any athletes or maybe scientists or activists that stand out in your mind that you look up to as people that change the way you see things?
Well, funny enough, I mean, you say scientists and activists, you know, I'm not going to go to the degree that other people do, but it is more personal to me because it is my parents, my dad being a scientist and my mother being an activist, you know, in the sense that I'm obviously a little bit older. My parents, you know, my mom especially, she walked with Dr. Martin Luther King, you know, so I was able to hear a lot of the stories and everything that she went through and my dad went through growing up. You know, I mean, they could write a book on some of the things that they went through, especially my father being a PhD in an era where, you know, segregation was just, you know, just finishing up, and there's still a lot of issues, you know, going on. So I look up to my parents, you know, quite a bit, you know, and when I hear those stories and everything that they fought for and fought against, you know, to be able to let someone like myself be able to be as successful as I am in my career.
Well, continuing on with that question, as we get a look at some of the accolades for you with not only the LA Galaxy, but also with the U.S. national team. When you describe the emotion and the things that your parents did for you and how this feels like a special month for you, how do you maybe pick up the baton from some of the things they did and carry it on now today?
Well, I think, you know, for myself, you know, what I try to do is, you know, I try to do as much, I mean, if you want to call it like you know, charity work or philanthropy or spending my time within the inner cities whenever I have the opportunity, you know, be it not, you know, with African Americans, but, you know, with a variety of different people, I would say underrepresented people, you know, to try to go out there and, you know, the little that I can do, is my touch is basically within the soccer world. If it's going out to bringing in the game, you know, trying to give them opportunities, you know, to not only enjoy the sport, but maybe, you know, start their own careers within the sport.
You know, one of the things I want to ask you, and you know what, I don't think I've ever asked you this, but we grew up in Westlake Village. I can tell you all of the other African American kids that were in our school. Was that hard for you? I mean, was there Chris Savage, Nicole Chappelle, and Reggie, and yourself? Is that hard to grow up in a school where you really are the only one?
Well, it is hard in the sense in that you do stand out. You know that you are different. You know, like you said, in our high school, there's maybe 4 or 5 African-American people in the whole high school. So you definitely know that it's a very strange and different atmosphere because you know that you're different, and being able to relate, you know, having others relate to you, it's difficult for them, you know. I mean, so, yeah, you know, I would have wished it was a more diverse community, you know, but I'm not going to knock, you know, the opportunities that, you know, that childhood, you know, through my parents, you know, what they gave me by growing up in that area. Because as you know as well as I do, you know, it was great. It was a great atmosphere, a safe atmosphere. You know, so I got a lot of benefits from being there. But yes, it is a bit different. and it is a bit hard because, you know, it gets a little bit lonely.
I imagine your Westlake High coach had some good benefits too, Eric, when all the and Cobi Jones.
Hey, dude, are you kidding me? This guy takes the ball to the line, and all I got to do is stand in front of the goal and look good. I mean, it was a great.
You tried it quite a bit, Eric. You know, putting the ball in the back of the net. Come on, don't play yourself down.
You know what? You made me look good. I got to be honest, you really did.
Cobi, continuing talking about Black History Month here with Cobi Jones. You know, you had a chance now to do it from two different point of views, not only as a player for many years on several different levels, but also as a coach now, being an assistant with the LA Galaxy. How do we go about incorporating more African Americans into the fold, specifically in the soccer world?
Well, I think there needs to be an active push, you know, hitting, you know, the communities where there are a lot of African Americans, you know, regardless of what people want to think. You have seen a change, you know, over the last few years. You know, if you just look at the MLS draft, if you look at, I think it's the top 5 or 6 players that were picked. I think 4 out of the 5 or something along those lines, you could correct me, you probably know better, were African Americans, you know, or blacks, you know, to a certain degree, you know, that they were from the United States or somewhere else. So it has changed a bit, but, you know, overall, soccer in the United States is still somewhat of a white-collar sport, you know, and as we go into into the inner cities, you know, make it, you know, it touches like into the blue-collar level, you're going to get a lot more people from diverse backgrounds joining in. Was there some discrepancy as to which direction, you know, you were going to go when you were young? I think we've talked about the story before that in your first couple of days of playing soccer as a youth, your coach told you might want to try and find another sport. But for you, was there a decision to be made? You know, because you're a great athlete. Could I have gone into, I don't know, track and field, basketball? How did you get to soccer? Basketball, I don't think basketball was
Hey, you could have been a great point guard.
Probably not, man. I don't know. I remember the days when, like, we didn't even know, like, you should have soccer shoes that were supposed to be the size, like, a little bit smaller.
Right.
So, like, I was wearing, like, a size 10, and he was wearing, like, a size 10, and, like, our toes were hanging out. We looked absolutely ridiculous. But, I mean, I'm glad you keep talking about your parents. I don't know if you've ever met them, but Freeman and Maida, good friends of my family, two of the greatest people I've ever met. You can see them at any game. They'll be there. And I'll introduce you to them. They're good people. They're good people. Hey, let me ask you one more thing. What can we do to get more kids in the league? A little bit more, not necessarily activists, but what can we do to get more of our players involved? You know, to change the way people think. Well,
I mean, besides, you know, like I said before, with having an active push, you know, by the league and by the clubs, you know, to get into those, in U.S. soccer, to get into those inner cities, you know, and to get into those communities, I think we need to show, you know, from the other side, from those on the outside looking in, that, you know, that as far as sport is concerned, this is a viable, you know, sport for African Americans to play. I still think that a lot of African Americans in the community would think, oh, that's not, you know, that's not a sport that, you know, blacks will play. You know, they don't play that. But if we can get it out there somehow, some way, you know, show them, you know, how many African Americans have gone through, you know, the U.S. soccer system already. You know, myself, you know, the Eddie Popes, you know, all the others in the past, and show what the sport is internationally, you know, with some of the best players in the world, like the Drugbas and stuff, and say, hey, you know what, this isn't a sport, you know, just for white people or for Latin people or just for black people. You know, this is a sport for everybody. Anyone and everyone should be playing the sport.
Can you imagine a world if Barry Sanders was a soccer player? Can you imagine that? That would have been so cool.
Working his way through the midfield.
Exactly. Hey, Cobi, we really appreciate you being with us. I know this is a big topic for you, Black History Month. I'm learning more, but thank you for your insight and coming on the program, brother.
No problem.
All right, man. We'll see you, and good luck.